How much control do you have over your inner self? This is the question for the day. How much control do you have over your inner self? Something to think about. Welcome to Tuesday Talks at 3. This is a platform where I help you get unstuck and onto your true potential through unlocking your limiting beliefs. My name is Lucy Macridis, and I am an online facilitator. I'm a clarity coach. I'm a mentor. And I'm so happy to have you here today with us as we continue this month of the locus of control and our inner world. My co-host is coming on in a short while. And last week we had an exciting time. And this week proves to be the same, because these things are important to talk about. That control that you have, are you owning it or are you giving it up? What do you attribute your successes and your failures to? This is one way that you would know whether you fall towards the external locus of control or the inner locus of control or internal locus of control. But again, how much control do you have? You'll be surprised how much you have, how much you own, how much you leave on the table. And this is our discussion for today as we look at the power of the mind. And the power of the mind is something else. Because with this power of the mind, as we are going to see in a little bit, we are able to run so many things in automatic pilot. But what is it that we are feeding ourselves with? And as I'm just looking to see that indeed we are live, I'm just checking so that I know we are there. And it is right here. Yes, we have been live for the last 1 minute. Brilliant. So the question is, how much control do you have over your inner self? And we would love for you to engage today. I'm going to introduce my co-host. You met her last week, Alice, the conscious coach. And as I am bringing her to the screen in a moment, I just want you to be able to go back to Google and just look again at the definition of the locus of control and remind yourself what the internal locus of control is so that we can continue with this conversation. So here we go. And I have just, there she is. Welcome, Alice. How are you?
I am fine, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
It's amazing to see you here, and your mic is on well. We can hear you very well, and we
Awesome.
can see you very well.
Fantastic.
Alice, last week we had an exciting session.
Oh, yes,
and,
we did.
We were with Wanjiku Wanjohi, and the one thing that I took away last week was her story where she was able to take charge. She was in a situation where she'd finished her university. There really was no way forward. Things were falling through. There was no job. And this young woman decides to become an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And she picks a basic, something that we all eat, chapati. She goes to the source, the person who makes the chapati.
Yeah.
She thinks like an entrepreneur. She repackages that chapati according to the way her customer is going to be able to receive it, consume it. And she actually makes money, shall we say, as a broker, although she's an entrepreneur at this point.
Yeah.
And as she's doing that, she's not sitting on her laurels. She goes ahead and sells magazines in the traffic of Nairobi. This is someone who was taking charge of her life. She was not sitting back and saying, typical Kenyanese, woishe. Look what has happened now. I have this degree, or like we say in Kiswahili, serikali saidia. The government is not helping me. They are promising us jobs and they're not giving. No, she didn't do this. She took charge and showed that she leans toward the internal locus of control. What was your takeaway, Alice?
I really had so much fun last week, and that session was so powerful. And for me, my biggest takeaway is we are in charge of our own reality. Her story was one of resilience, of like you're saying, not sitting down and becoming a victim, but taking it upon herself to determine where her life was gonna go. It was such a good example of what we are sharing about, a locus of control. Is it internal? Is it external? I thought that was a very powerful story. And I totally loved, she was powerful, energetic. I totally loved it.
Resilience. Resilience. And in this phase of the last 18 months of our COVID pandemic, resilience has been the word that keeps on coming to the top. Businesses and resilience, individuals and resilience, and it's just resilience. How are we weathering this pandemic and many other things? I think the pandemic was just it gave a face to the things that we faced in life.
I think the way I look at it, is all these things were there, but they were below the surface. It's only that COVID just brought things, to the forefront. Before that, we could, I don't know whether it's going shopping, going to church, going to a members club. We were running away from things, but COVID happened and there was nowhere to run. And so we had to sit and really figure out so much. Like you're saying, there is no other time in history that we have been asked to tap onto our own resilience as individuals, as organizations, as countries, as a people, like the last 18 months. So I'm so excited that, even with this particular session, it will be more of a continuation of the same. And it's just exciting. It's exciting to be here.
It is exciting. It is exciting. I mean, you're saying there was nowhere to go. I beg to differ. We all had to go back home by default. It was a reboot of the system. And suddenly, if you lived on your own, it was you coming back to your four walls. And now actually redefining what those four walls meant for you. If you were in a family setting, you now came back home and you are dealing with each other 24/7. I mean, we were having conversations that we were running away from because there was the story ended during the day. Until now, we had to speak the truth and the elephant in the room. We addressed so many things. And as coaches, we do agree that this is the time when people now started having an awareness of what we do as coaches. And I'm so happy that our guest today is also a coach. The importance of being a coach in today's Kenya, because internationally coaches exist. But this phenomena of coaches in Kenya, we are there. There's very few people who come to us for our services. People are not knocking our doors down, breaking our doors down. But in the first world, this is what people do. This is one of their basic needs. But not in Africa, not in Kenya, not yet anyway. So this has given us an opportunity because people now want to understand self-awareness. And so today's topic, Alice, of the power of the mind could not have come at a better time. The power of the mind. I know. And this power of the mind, we're going to have Jaanki Malde. And Jaanki will take us through this and help us to understand what it means and where it is we can plug it into our lives, into our daily lives, which is really important, really, really important. So I'm just going to look at this thread here and see if there's anything going on so far. Not yet. Not yet. Welcome, guys. Welcome for joining us. Today, we're talking about the power of the mind. And the question on the table today is, how much control do you have over your inner self? How much control do you have over your inner self? Share with us your story. Share with us your take. And let it expand and be expounded once Jaanki comes onto the session. While you're thinking about that question, I'm just going to be bringing Jaanki onto the screen. And as we bring her, there she is. Good afternoon, Jaanki. Good to see you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Alice.
Very good afternoon. Hi. A very good afternoon. Jaanki, tell us, who is Jaanki?
Wow, Lucy, thank you so much for having me here today. Wow.
Welcome.
Okay, so who am I? Wow. So my name is Jaanki Malde, and I have recently founded my own company, and I'm the founder of Enurata Coaching and Consultancy, which focuses on life and mindset coaching, systemic work, human resources, and quality assurance. Did you guys know that Enurata is a massage for heart? So all the work you do, the heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
I call myself the heart coach because
Yeah.
everything I want to do is connecting from the heart and directly to yours. So that's a little bit of a brief of what I do right now, Lucy. Yes.
Oh, wow. Connecting from the heart is already sounding very authentic. Very authentic. Okay, let me just, while I check out what is going on here on the chat. Alice, what questions do you have for Jaanki?
Oh my goodness, where do I start? Let me start by just saying this is a topic that is so exciting and is very dear to my heart as well. And that's because when I look back at my own experiences and my own experiences in life, things shifted when I understood about the power of the mind. And it took me so long for me to be able to figure things out. I stumbled in the dark. And yet, here we are, and we have you, and you can share with the audiences who don't have to stumble like I did. And it's so exciting, especially, when we think about how powerful the mind is, because we rarely get to think about it. We rarely get to reflect, how powerful is this mind? We use it in school, we go to school, we use it to understand what the teachers are saying, but we rarely get to understand, so how does this connect to my own life? And I'd love us to start with this one particular phrase that I saw that like blew me away when I was just learning these things. And let me share to then, please give us your take on them. And the first one was, we are creators of our own reality. And when I got that, I was like, are we? Are we really? Then the second one was, there is no, you're on mute, Jaanki.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Alice, yeah, please continue.
And the other one was, there's no such thing as an idle thought. This is, I'd like us to start from there, and I'm so excited. So if you see me here, I'm very excited about this topic. It's very close to my heart.
Wow, yes. If you could just repeat the last part, there's no such thing as
an idle thought.
Absolutely, I agree with you completely. What I think my first question to the audience would be, what do you understand by the power of the mind? What is it? And what does it really mean? Because it's a completely different perception people have. But according to me, the power of mind simply means the power of our thoughts. I believe in keeping things very simple. So I will try to simplify as much as I can. But yeah, just power of the mind simply means power of the thoughts. And basically our thoughts are our main ingredient of the power that we have, right? And it adds focus and emotions to them. And then our thoughts will manifest, and they become so powerful that it can really affect our reality.
Can you let me take you a little bit back. What do you mean that we manifest using our thoughts? Because most of us might not be, we just think things happen, we don't think we are active participants in the creating. Things happen. So please expand on that a bit.
Yeah, so what I mean by manifest is focusing. So, when you're thinking about something, our thoughts, and we become so focused on that thought, and which can eventually possibly turn into an emotion as well, right? So by manifesting, you're really focusing, giving all your energy into that one particular thought. And that thought then can eventually become a reality.
Yeah, and let me just jump in and add something that would make it easier for the audiences to get. When I used to think about this manifesting thing, like, whoa, like, what do you mean we are creating? Until I found, if you're thinking of something, it will most likely appear in your life. Like if I am thinking of, I'm thinking of getting a red Mercedes. All of a sudden, when I get onto the road, I'll start seeing them. Before they were not in my thoughts, though I couldn't trace them. But all of a sudden I get onto the road, I turn, I see one. I turn, I see one. So that's basically the power of thoughts manifesting. But before that, I used to think, oh, this is like magic or something so complicated. So it's so exciting to have you explaining this for us.
No, of course. Like just a simple example I'll give you is I'm a huge foodie. I absolutely love food. So if my thoughts are all about eating a KFC burger, for example, that's all I'll be seeing around me until I get that KFC burger and I'm satisfied. Then only I'll be able to move on to my next thought and be able to see things differently or look at another perspective. Yes. But at that point in time, that's all you're focused on. That's all you're thinking about. Just like the example you gave about the red car. That's all you end up seeing, right? Because that's what that's what you're always thinking about. Your thoughts, your focus is only on that red car.
Oh, wow, guys, I'm loving this. I'm already having two things there that I'm hearing. The first one was when Alice talked about stumbling in the dark. We don't realize that this is how we can be going through life. And that's just stumbling in the dark. And whatever comes, just comes. And whatever goes, just goes. And when you're asked, what was your plan for the day? Oh, it was an okay day. You literally had nothing set up. You had not put some thoughts to paper, so to speak. And therefore, there would be nothing to manifest. And I think that is so sad because that sense of fulfillment is second to none. When you're able to achieve something, you may not realize that it is because of the thought that you had in your mind, but you just have this feel good going on about you. But if you go back and if you sat with a coach and they asked you those questions, those coach-like questions, and they ask you and you removed layer by layer by layer, you actually realized it was that one action that you had. And that one action was your thought. And that thought then became that habit for you. And therefore, when you manifested it, there was that sense of fulfillment. So I'm loving that. The other one was that things do not just happen. So that just brought that idea to mind because many a time, the human being is shying away from making decisions, whether consciously or subconsciously. Why? Because of the way the external world is going to react. So if I decide today that I want to do something, as Lucy, one of my values is discipline and the other one is determination. When I put a thought out there, I then work on it. It gets annoying for the people around me. And the comments that I get are, but you're lucky, Lucy. These things just come naturally to you. Hello, they don't. They don't. And in fact, you think that I am lucky. I'm thinking I still have a long way to go because the minute that I am putting so much effort into it, I'm thinking there must be an effortless way to do this. But this is my core values kicking in. So things don't just happen. It works. It works in the opposite for me in a negative connotation at times, that if I do need me time, and I need coaches to be talking to me about this, when I do need me time, I tend to fight it and resist it. Because at one point in my mind, I think me time is me not being determined and disciplined. And I'm saying that with a very small voice right now, because I can see the looks that you guys are giving me, but this is the story. So I have moments where I doubt myself when I want me time. And then I question, if you have this me time, Lucy, how are you going to have the determination and the discipline to get things done? Of course, you know the answer to this question. If you don't have the me time, you cannot charge yourself. But let me assure you, at the height of it all, that's the last answer in my head. So things don't just happen. And you can take this sideline and we can side by each other. But if any of our guests want to question, please do. You've got 3 coaches on this show today. You do not want to miss out on this opportunity. You've got one who is an NLP practitioner here. You've got one emotional intelligence. You've got me, a clarity coach. Hi, it doesn't get better than this, guys. Yeah,
no, it doesn't.
It doesn't. So, Jaanki, you were going ahead and you were explaining about your thoughts and manifesting. Please go ahead.
Yes. So I really like what you say, that it's up to us and how we kind of do it. And a lot of the times people that keep saying that, oh, bad things only happen to me. Ask yourself, are you only thinking of the negative? What are you focused on? And how can you change that negative emotion that you're feeling into a positive one? A simple example is, it's been the pandemic, I don't have a job, and I just can't get a job. Change that into a positive thought. How can I get a job? What skills do I have? List it down and manifest that, grow that, so you can move forward. So the negative things don't happen to you just because you just feel like they do. No, you're manifesting it. And a lot of the times, us as human beings, as individuals, we're so quick to judge ourselves. I think we are the biggest, we're so judgmental to our own selves than others are of us, you know?
It's true. So, I keep saying we are our own worst critics.
Oh my, that's exactly it. That's the perfect way to put it, Alice. Absolutely. So how do you change that? Because you need to remember that you also have good qualities. Everybody has a good quality. Even if it's just the one quality, but you have it. Right? So focus on good qualities, positive things, and it will happen, because our thoughts are all about that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what you add,
that is quite interesting, because we rarely think of it that way. Like you said, we just say, I would say, you know what, bad things always happen to me. And by that time, I'm actually justified, because I can actually write a whole book saying to justify or defend my statement. This happens, this happens, this happens. So how can I expect good things when I look, there's a list of everything going wrong? How can I, it gets to a point where when I say things are going to go well for me, I feel like I'm lying to myself, because on the contrary, the whole, evidence is showing the exact opposite. So if someone is at that point, how can they be able to change their thoughts or change, I don't know, that statement and actually make it work for them?
I think Jaanki actually was talking about writing down things. I'm a writer like that. I have notes of the relatives of notes and no notes. Don't want to see what my desk looks like. And I love when you say you put things down, because things happen in two places. One, it happens in your mind, so if we're talking about the power of the mind, we're talking about the power of thoughts. It's there. The minute that you commit it to paper, or you put it on your phone or your journal or something, that's the second place that it is happening, which we are calling, in this case, in quotes, reality. So when you put it down, it now becomes like you've been bitten by the bug. You've been bitten by that bug. Now that thing is going to follow you like a bad smell. And your only positive way to look at it is make it happen. Make it happen for you, because this is how you're filling up your cup, so that you can be of value to yourself and to the world around you. So Jaanki, I really love that. I love the journaling, the writing down. And I know Alice loves to journal too.
So Alice, to answer your question as well. So when I was working in human resources, one of my colleagues, she came up with an idea for my team. Why don't we write down for the next, I think it was for the next 1 month, every morning when we come in, 3 things that you're grateful for. Yeah. And for somebody who's obviously always going through all this, feeling sorry for themselves, being the victim, having negative thoughts constantly, start with that. Not even like, I love what Lucy said, you need to manifest your own things, you need to write it down, put it down as a reality. And yes, it's there to bite you. The bug is there. But this is also a very nice way to start. Just, what are you grateful for? What are you thankful for today? You wake up in the morning. I'll give you an example of something I wrote once. I was so thankful for coffee. Lucy knows how much I need my morning coffee. It was just something so simple, but I really was. That day I was so thankful for coffee. So just every day when you wake up in the morning, just write down 3 things you're grateful for, and do it for a month. See if that makes any change at all in how you look at things, how you see things now. And potentially even your thoughts.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. So for the audience, we are talking about how do you change the negative thoughts into becoming something positive. And apart from journaling, we're talking about like a gratitude journal. We've got Nyevu Karisa here asking, Jaanki and Alice, what are your opinions on daily affirmations?
Oh, wow. Yes.
I'm dying to answer. I'm dying to answer. So we're going to throw that one to Jaanki. So Jaanki, what are your opinions on daily affirmations?
Wow. I love them. Honestly, I wake up in the morning and that's something I look at every day. And whatever affirmation that comes to me, it's like my purpose of the day. This has been given to me for a reason. And that's something I look at just like, okay, this is a positive way to look at something. Let's see how the day goes, keeping this at the back of my mind for the day. And yes, it works for me. Again, I'm very much into, I love this. Absolutely. I love that question. Thank you.
But tell me, what's an example of an affirmation? We know, but this is for the sake of anybody else who's listening, watching, or anybody who's going to watch this after we are gone.
Yes.
What is an affirmation?
Okay, so an affirmation can be either a quote you're saying or something positive that comes towards you, and it can be from anywhere. Yeah, it could be online, through any pages you're going through, absolutely anything. Lucy, I'll give you an example of one of the affirmations I got this morning that I read, and it really just struck to me. The same light that you see in others is shining within you too.
Wow. Bang. Please repeat that again so that it sinks.
Wow. Yeah, say that again.
The same light you see in others is shining within you too.
Wow. Wow. So beautiful.
Okay, I'm just writing it down. The same light you see in others is shining within you too.
Yes.
Whoa.
So waking up to something like that is so powerful. And it just, regardless of how your night went, you just read that and it just gives you this sense of energy and urge to just get on with things for the day.
It motivates you to get up.
Absolutely. Yes, yes.
Can you imagine if yesterday you didn't have a very fulfilling day, and that's the thought you went to sleep with, it wasn't a day, what's tomorrow going to be like? And then you wake up in the morning and Jaanki has sent you this, whoever has sent you, but it was meant to be for you. You received it.
Yeah.
Wow. I just say that is just powerful. And when I am doing my coaching, I coach women. When I'm doing my coaching, there's one thing that comes out is that women, we don't trust ourselves. We trust everybody else except ourselves.
Yes.
So for instance, now if I was given a chance, well, today my thoughts have totally changed. My narrative is different. But before, if I was given an opportunity, let's say like this one, to come onto this session and speak about something that I am a thought leader on, I would say to Alice or to Jaanki, actually, do you know, I know somebody who will be perfect for you. You see, you've been given the opportunity, Lucy, but here you are deflecting and giving somebody else because you do not trust in self. You do not trust in self. So if you don't trust in yourself, will other people trust in you? But that's a discussion for another day. I love that affirmation. I do hope that Nyevu, that was your name, Nyevu Karisa.
Can I add something onto that?
Yes, please do.
Yes.
Please do.
One of the biggest things that I learned was the power of affirmations. And I remember when I was trying to understand the power of the mind and how to change my focus from negative to positive thoughts, because as Jaanki said, where you put your focus on, where you're thinking is what you're manifesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I kept on thinking, if I'm manifesting because my thoughts are negative, then what is that thing that I want, that I need to focus on, that is going to be my mantra? And I would say 5 years ago, I came up with this mantra: things are always working out for me. Wow. And that's because I was at the point where I was thinking nothing is working out. Then I was like, wait a minute. What about if I was to look at it from a different perspective, which is just all about mindset? So I came up with this line: things are always working out for me. And believe me, I'd say it, I think 200 or 500 times a day, especially, those times when everything is going wrong and your mind is going haywire. I'd be like, things are always working out for me. Things are always working out for me. Whether I know it or not, even at this time, it might not look like it's working out for me, but guess what? It is still working out for me. And I started seeing things from a different perspective. It could be probably, for example, maybe I'm on the road, I got a flat tire, I'm stuck. Then guess who comes to help me? A contact that I need to help me to get to another point. And I kept on thinking, oh my God, the way you think something negative is happening, but it's a blessing because that needed to happen to push you to the next level where you needed to head. I was like, oh my goodness, things are always working out for me. And it's something that I've said over and over. I think my friends always, as in they know, the first thing I'm going to say, things are always working out for me. And
wow, isn't that beautiful?
So amazing. Yeah. The more you say these affirmations, initially at first, because our minds are always, we've been programming them so negatively. At first, it feels fake. At first, it feels like you're saying there's so much self-doubt and all this. We wonder, okay, really, really? But the more you say it, the more you reprogram your mind. And I'm sure Jaanki would agree with me, is the way to reprogram is through repetition. Because even the things that we learned was through repetition. So the way to build new things is through the repetition, and affirmations are perfect. But you need to pick affirmations that resonate with you. The ones that when you say them, you feel them. You're not just saying them. And then you keep on saying them until they're in your DNA. And that's how you reprogram your mind.
Wow, Jaanki, you look like you want to add in something there.
No, I just liked what you said about how your mind goes haywire. You know, that just really clicked. Like, your emotions become your reactions.
Yeah.
So it's up to us to really see, is the emotion a positive one or a negative one? And how are we reacting to it? Because then it becomes an external thing. So that just really clicked. Wow. And that was so powerful. Thanks, Alice, for sharing that.
Wow. And Nyevu, I guess we've answered her question. She says, Alice, I like that one. Things are always working out for me. Thank you both. You have answered Nyevu's question. And that is a good thing, because then somebody has come onto the session and there was an expectation. And therefore for them, once an answer has come across, they can move on to the next stage. We have enabled one to move on to the next stage. From the two things that you guys were talking about, if you remember last week, we asked the question, do things happen to you or do they happen for you? So I'm loving that mantra, Alice, and it's something that we must do. And in repetition, 21 days is your minimum time to do something. But we are human beings, and when we don't see the results or the benefits immediately, we give up. And that's why at times the affirmations do not work. Someone told me once that with patients, and I'm talking about mental health patients who are really in a dark place of negativity and all these vibes coming to them and overtaking their minds, there's this affirmation, like a white noise. There's this affirmation that they would listen to as they fall asleep. So they fall asleep listening to these words or listening to this music. And this sets up your dream patterns, that in the morning when you wake up, something has been lodged in behind there, the power of the mind.
Can I add something before we get, because Jaanki mentioned emotions, and I thought that was really critical. I just wanted to share something else that I did when I was learning about the power of affirmations to change your mindset and to just reprogram your mind. And part of that was I actually sat and came with a list of about 7 to 10 affirmations. Then I recorded myself saying those affirmations. Wow. And what I would do is before I sleep, I would listen to them. And it's I don't know how to say it. You have to do this to just experience it. It's one thing when I think things are always working out for me, then it's another to hear my, my voice in my head saying
to hear your voice in your head. Yes.
To hear my own voice saying it over and over and over before I go to sleep. For me, it was it was life-changing. Let me just add that.
Wow.
And
Alice, it's like you're mirroring back what you're saying to yourself, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Looking in the mirror and literally, wow, that's beautiful.
Exactly. And you mentioned about the power of emotions. And most of the time, we don't realize how powerful, the way our emotions add to, when we can add to the way the mind works. Perhaps you can help us understand a little bit about that.
I think you had mentioned something about that last week, about how do you identify anxiety with excitement? Like it could be a very similar emotion, yet you're feeling very differently about it, but you're experiencing it very similar from within. Yeah. So to answer your question about emotions start from, I think, the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, right? You go through all these phases, and emotions are something that it's part of life, it's part of who we are. And like we said, it's got the power of the mind, but emotions play a huge part because it's about behavior. All about behavior, how we project ourselves, and through emotions is how we can express. So sorry, Alice, if you could just repeat that question again.
I just wanted you to bring it home, the power of emotions when it comes to manifesting. How are thoughts and emotions related?
Oh, wow.
And I don't know, how can we use our emotions to help us to create the reality that we want instead of the one that we don't want?
Okay. I like that. Okay, I think the first thing we need to do is just accept that we're all human beings and we can't be happy all day, every minute we're awake, right? We all go through different emotions, anger, sadness, happiness. It could be anything, but we all go through it. So you can't be happy all the time. You can't, and of course, as human beings, you're not positive all the time either. Like, I'll give you my example. I get road rage. So I don't like it when these matatus are just overtaking from anywhere, and then when you try to do it,
I just don't see it. But anyway, I don't see it. But okay, you get road rage.
Yeah. So again, that's an emotion I'm going through, right? But it's up to me to either decide, okay, am I going to allow this emotion to take over, or am I just going to feel it, take a step back, or calm myself down, and then move on to the next day? Yeah. So
just say that again. Just say that again, Jaanki. Are you going to allow yourself to feel it? Take a step back.
Yes. Feel it. Take a step back. Recollect yourself.
Yes.
And then move on to the next day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you remember that thing we're talking about, Alice? Alice, we're talking about that thing of or was it somebody else I was talking to? When you come to a place, you come with all these emotions. So you're encouraged to leave that kiondo with emotions at the door, walk in, do whatever you need to do. When you walk out, carry your kiondo on the way out. And why do I bring this here and now? Because in our relationships as human beings, we have these emotions. And I love the fact that you're talking about taking a step back. We don't take a step back by default. We go straight into it. We build up on this emotion. It becomes like a hurricane. And by the time you're out of that traffic, Jaanki, and you get home, you're coming with all this force. And we're supposed to understand you. We're supposed to maybe keep quiet. We're supposed to stroke your ego or something. You are in control of your emotions. And you just explained something so beautiful, the stepping back. I love that, Jaanki. I just wanted that to be brought out. And while we are there, I want to recognize that we've got Kavi here. We've got Rajesh Chotalal. We've got Catherine Jiru. Yes, Nyevu. We've got Shiru Ndishu. And we've got Catherine Jiru and all the other silent watchers and listeners. Thank you so much today. Yes, today we're talking about the power of the mind, and our guest is Jaanki Malde, an LNP practitioner. As you can hear, the LLP keeps on rolling off my tongue. And today we're talking about the power of the mind, and my co-host is Alice, the conscious coach. You met her last week. The question is very simple. How much control do we have over our inner self? How much control do we have? And so we're talking about power of the mind. And Jaanki has really taken us through amazing aspects of the power of the mind. But then, Jaanki, I think we need to just move on and ask this question. What does one do if they feel the external environment is now taking control of their inner self? Because you talked about, no, it was Alice who talked about the puncture. Was it Alice who talked about the puncture? Yes. And then, Jaanki, you've talked about road rage now. The two of you, I don't know why we are on the road and red cars. Clearly, you're in sync. So what does one do? How can we be able to use this power of the mind when the external environment, it is a true story, when it's taking over our internal self?
Wow, that's a really beautiful question, Lucy. I think it's important for everyone to understand that we have no control over our external forces in our external environment. We have absolutely no control about that. But what we do have control over is of ourselves and our inner self. We have control over that. It is up to us to decide how we want to do things, how we want to see things. It's up to us, right? So if you realize and you feel that your external environment has taken over your inner self, your inner being, the first thing I encourage everyone to do is to honor your feelings. Talk about it, honor it, and accept and acknowledge these feelings that you're feeling. It could be anything you're feeling, but just acknowledge it, because by acknowledging it, you're now accepting it and you're able to move forward. Yeah. So if I say, like, for example, with the road rage, that I don't have road rage, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's not me. But the fact that I am fully aware that, yes, I do have road rage, I get angry when I'm on the road. That's a feeling, and an emotion that I'm accepting. And by accepting so, I am now more aware that next time I go on the road, I need to be more conscious. I need to be more aware and see how I'm doing things, see how I can do something differently so that anger doesn't come back. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Another way is to be, again, integrity of what is right for you. Right? And a lot of people ask me, how do you define integrity? And for me, how I define it is, you're doing the right thing at the right time, even when no one is watching.
The right thing at the right time, even when no one is watching.
Yeah, and you're doing it for yourself. So regardless, so what is your integrity towards yourself? Are you doing the right thing for yourself? Not for others, for yourself. It's all about you in this situation. Yeah. So what are you doing that is right for you? How is it helping you? Yeah. And again, helping you in a positive way. Yes. Yeah. What are you doing, or what are the steps you're taking to move forward in a positive way? So I think that's important. Another option could be explore possible solutions. For every concern or issue you have, or for every problem, there is always a solution. It's up to us to find it.
Tell me that on my darkest day.
Well, Lucy, you know the solution to everything is chocolate, but apart from that,
the solution to everything is chocolate. Okay, all right.
No, but on a serious note, it's just explore possible solutions and focus on what can be done rather than what could have been done.
Yeah.
We sometimes, like, for example, you get into an accident, you're being told, oh, you could have done it this way, you could have done it that way, but it's already done. So focus on now, what can I do?
Yeah.
How can I move forward?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really love that bit on focus a whole lot, because when we just stayed to what we're talking about, the power of the thought, if I was to sit as an individual and just observe and reflect, most of the time, what am I, where are my thoughts? What am I always thinking about? And you're going to see most of the time as individuals, because it's a conditioning from the society, how we grew up. We're always looking at the problem. Things are not working. We rarely think about what's the solution. And I think for me, one of the biggest lessons I learned was from my boss. a few years back, and he was like, we used to go to his office, this is not working out, this client is saying this, those are, and he told us, no, there's nothing like that. I'm not here to sort out your problems, but I'm here to assist you. So by the time you're getting into this office, come with the problem and the solution.
Correct.
So this is what the client has said. These are the options, 1, 2, 3. So he helps you discuss and decide which one is the best. And I think for me, that was the best lesson I learned, that I have the solution. Whoever has the problem has the solution. But like Lucy was mentioning, it's always, Serikali's idea. And there's one thing of saying Serikali's idea, we need 1, 2, 3 done. But most of the time, it's Serikali's idea. You go think on my behalf.
Yes.
You go look for it. And yet, if we were to look at it, we own the solutions. It's just a matter of, figuring out, so what's the best way to do about it. So I think focus is so important. When you're having that hard time, where is your focus? Is your focus on, things are going wrong, or like Jaanki is saying, things have gone wrong, there's nothing I can do about that because it's already happened. But what can I do right now? Not what can I do 5 years or 2 weeks. Right now, what power do I have in my hand? Right. And sometimes it might be right now, what you can do is just breathe because you're about to explode. That's enough. And then understanding, okay, fine, I've calmed down. So what's next? And just instead of trying to just, eat the whole elephant. Because most of the time we get overwhelmed by our own thoughts because we are trying to figure out things that, mpaka next year, 2022, instead of asking, so for today, what's my focus for today?
I can resonate with what Jaanki was saying, that the stepping back, so you're also saying at times it's okay just to breathe. But that stepping back, I really want the audience to listen to that. Step back. You're in the middle of this storm, Step back, take a moment. And I like what she added is honor your feelings. When you're honoring those feelings, when I was taking a few youth through some mentorship programs, and I was saying the answers to some questions are so hard and difficult that we don't want to hear them. Yet in your darkest hour, you will still hear those answers. And if you don't honor that it exists and that it is part of you, then you will never come out of it. You'll be in this spiral of things going on in a way that you do not like at all. You're going to find yourself now even reflecting onto other people. And the one thing that young people do not like is being treated as an outcast, not being part of the social groups. And then when you start having these things that are happening in your life that you're not happy about, and you do not honor that feeling, you do not sit down with yourself, write down what are these things that are not happening, and what can I do about them? That question, what can I do about it, is very hard. Because the answer that comes out demands change of you. And you might not be ready to change. You might not be ready to change, but are you also ready to be an outcast as somebody who is young? Because now people don't want to talk to you. They really don't want to talk to you. So it's interesting that comes to mind. Jaanki, there's something you said that we have control over our inner self. And I just loved it. I thought to myself, the inner game runs the show. So for as long as that inner part of you is working, it is work in progress. There's an awareness, Jaanki. I love that. There is an awareness. So the external environment can do what it's doing because that one does not stop running.
Absolutely.
Life goes on. Life goes on. But then, Jaanki, when I'm thinking about exploring solutions and focusing on what can be done, I'm a bit concerned about that one because solutions could be very self-serving. Very self-serving. I'll give you an example why I'm saying this.
Yes.
So today, money is one of the things that we are mostly chasing. for many reasons. You're chasing money for a different reason. I'm chasing money for a different reason. So is Alice. If we were all told to write them down, we'd be like, Allah, you mean? It means different things to different people.
Yeah.
However, when we feel that we have been challenged to get this money, and I'm talking about being a Kenyan today in Kenya today, there's this new term that is coming out and going around. It's called the wash wash. So the minute that we start talking about monies and one of us is doing well, wash wash comes to mind. We refuse to be able to understand and break down the fact that perhaps Alice is doing something very valuable, authentic, applying integrity, and she's getting the money according to what she thinks money is. Yeah. But Lucy here has got her own internal game that is not happening. And because the external world is informing Lucy that anybody moving from day 1 to day 100 and having money, that is wash wash. It cannot be anything clean. But here is Alice. If we use Wanjiku's story of last week, she bought chapatis, she repackaged, she went, she's made money, you know, and we're talking about a girl who's what, 23, 24? Yeah. So the kind of money that she's bringing home to the rest of us of that age, we're thinking, wow, where is she getting this money from? She's not telling us because she's not going to tell us in case we steal her idea. We have thought many things about what Wanjiku is doing, haven't we? So if Alice was to show up today with money, Jaanki, automatically as a Kenyan, I'm thinking, Kwani, she has joined the wash wash society. Is that what it is? Because the external world, the society, we are being socialized to believe that I cannot put in my hard work on my internal self to remain determined and disciplined and consistent and doing this thing in repetition as we've all agreed here, so that there is an end game to whatever goal that I have. So Jaanki, when we talk about exploring possible solutions, my question is, can these possible solutions be self-serving? And if they are self-serving, how does that impact the lives of the ones around me?
Wow, that's a beautiful question, Lucy, and very, very much a reality for most of us today. I think what I would like to say is, yes, what we are doing, what any individual does is for themselves. It has to be self-motivating. It has to have purpose for them, right? But are you motivated enough and empowered enough to execute it?
That's the question.
How motivated are you? How empowered are you? Do you feel at peace when you're looking at it and you've got a long vision for it, right? So in 5 years, or your long-term goals, in 5 years, if I achieve this, looking at it, how do you feel? Are you feeling at peace? Are you empowered? Are you motivated? Yeah. But another thing I'd like to add as well is about trying. You know, a lot of people say, like, okay, this is my idea, I'll give it a try. But what does trying really mean? Is it just an excuse? I'll give you an example. You try sit on a chair.
Are you sitting on the chair or you try?
Exactly. You either sit on it or you don't. There's no in between, right? So when a lot of people keep saying, I'm trying, what is your excuse? That's my question to you. Again, your external environment, yes, it's going to be there. Like Lucy and Alex, you both mentioned, nothing about it is going to change, right? It's up to us to move around and maneuver to a comfortable space for us in this external environment. But while doing so, just remember that this is about you. This is your life at the end of the day. You either follow the crowd or you do what is right for you. And this is the perfect example, like in Masai Mara, you either go with the wildebeest or you can be the lion. You make your own path.
Okay. You took me there. To Masai Mara, I can be with the wildebeest or be the lion.
Yes.
I can choose to be.
Why I say that? Because wildebeest always go in crowds. When one person is running, they all follow. When one person stops, they all stop. When one person crosses, they all cross.
I know. Have you seen them how they cross? It's just something else. Yeah. And then the zebra
lion knows what they want, right? Yes, but a lion will know what they want. If they're hungry, they will go hunt. If they want to sleep, they will go under a tree, right?
Yeah.
So it's up to us to really decide, are we following the crowd and doing what everyone wants, whether it's the right thing to do or not? Or are we going to take our own path and decide what's good for us?
Yeah. I like that. So when I was asking you about the question about solutions, if it is self-serving, personal agendas, you actually said yes, it is about self. It's going to start from there and ask yourself if you're peaceful with it. Yes, I like that answer. I like that answer, because then you are driven from your authentic self when you're giving a solution. I love that. And then typical Kenyan, we need to stop trying, we need to do. So when we do, we either know whether it has failed or whether it has succeeded, and then we get up from that point. But when we try, we never really get to do anything, and it is very Kenyanese to try, tunajaribu. Yes, this is what we do. I love the fact how you're tying it into a purpose again. Wow, Jaanki, this is really powerful. What do you think, Alice?
I love what she's sharing. I'm busy here writing notes.
Me too. You should see my paper. You see the one I'm turning here. I have written so many notes. And while you're on that thought, I'm thinking, Kavi says, these are great, powerful reminders. Thank you, Kavi, to be true to self. Oh, Daniel Ogeto, you're back. Good to see you, Daniel. You say, mark me present, although I'm late today. Karibu sana, Daniel. Good to see you. Good to see you. And yes, he is here watching us. So, Daniel, the question today was, how much control do you have on your inner self? But I think that question has been overtaken by so much that Jaanki has shared with us. And unfortunately, we've come to the end of our hour, Jaanki. Can you imagine?
Wow, time is gone fast.
I know I've written so many things here that I really want to ask. I started writing in red, then my paper was looking crazy. Now I'm writing in black. Now I can't remember what I wrote first and what last. But maybe your takeaways can give us some sort of direction as to what I was writing. If you could give us 3 takeaways at least that we can leave with.
Okay, so I think one of the takeaways I would like to share with everybody is, as we move on in life now, we need to pay more attention to your inner world. Yeah, we're now shifting from manpower to mind power. We are moving from the physical state to the mental state. And therefore, it's so important. Never underestimate the power of your mind. It's so important.
So powerful.
Yeah. Secondly, focus on your internal self, because it truly reflects how you behave and portray yourself to the rest of the world. Your inner self is a reflection of how you are. By focusing on your inner self, you're reflecting that you have control of your own destiny. And more importantly, you're honoring yourself. Always remember, no one knows you better than you.
True that.
I love that.
Very, very true.
Yeah. And finally, my favorite character, TV character, SpongeBob SquarePants, the little yellow guy. Be an original like him. If you've watched SpongeBob SquarePants, you know that he's truly one of a kind. Many of us are afraid of being ourselves and of our thoughts and perceptions that we create in our own minds. That's why we end up following the crowd.
Yeah.
Have courage to be the best you, and remember that you are uniquely you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, Jaanki, easier said than done. But yes, those are the 3 takeaways. Alice, what would you like to add there? Those 3 takeaways are powerful.
They are so powerful. And in fact, I was just reflecting on the first one, and I was like, oh my God, it's so true. We have moved from muscle power, from physical power to mind power. And that's why CEOs are being paid millions. And then people are saying, why is so-and-so paid this much? It's because they're using their minds. It's the power of thought. They're being visionary. As a corporate organization, where are we headed? That one, you can't use muscle to move, an organization. So you can only use your mind. So even using that example to our own personal lives, we can't, instead of getting, moving things, kuvutana na watu, muscle power, how can we use our minds in the same way to create the reality that we want. I think those takeaways are just amazing. Maybe for me, I'd love to add just one thing, a quote that I came across somewhere that for me just wraps up this whole conversation in a very nice, amazing way. And it's just one line. And it says, what you think matters because what you think creates matter.
Wow.
Alice, now what is this we are saying now? What you think matters.
Wow.
Yeah, what you think matters. What you think is important. Because what you think creates matter. Matter is reality. So be careful. Yes. Be intentional with your thoughts because what you think matters. Because what you're thinking is what you're creating.
Yeah. So, thank you so much. And thank you so much, guys. I mean, Alice, you've been amazing today. You started off with, we are creators of our reality, and there's no such thing as an idea, you know, and what mind?
An
idle mind. I wrote it wrong here on the chat. Idle thought. So I have to change that here because then I wrote the wrong thing. But I love those thoughts of how you're going through. Jaanki, you've taken us moving from manpower to mind power. You've talked about self-awareness. You've talked about being one of a kind like SpongeBob SquarePants. Thank you so much, guys. There you have it. You really have it. The inner game runs the show to something that you want to be doing for yourselves. And my guest today has been just amazing. Just amazing. Thank you so much, Jaanki. Well, guys, we are on to next week already. You're welcome. Next week, we are on to the external locus of control and how that impacts our life. Today, we touched a little bit on it, and we are going to be having a different co-host. Thank you, Alice, for joining us for the 2 sessions.
I had an awesome time.
We're going to be having a different co-host, and he is towards mental wellness. And he has 2 guests for us where we're going to be taking ourselves through these issues of taking action, through issues of why mental wellness is important, especially in these 18 months of the pandemic, and how the external forces can actually come in and how we know where to plug ourselves. So join us next Tuesday and the Tuesday after that for Tuesday Talks at 3. Until next week, be kind to yourselves. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.